Stitching buttons on with the Singer Quantum Stylist 9960 is as easy as picking stitch number 13. So I'm going to just go back to my main stitches and then find stitch number 13. And it actually calls for a button sew-on foot that comes with this machine. So it's the clear foot. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on first. It also recommends that we lower the feed dogs. So obviously they do not touch the underneath side of the button we are going to be stitching on. And well, here's another question. How does the machine know the width of those holes? Well, first off, most of them are an average size width. Now, you might need to adjust it if you have any odd size buttons, but watch this. This is pretty cool. Now, the last thing is, and I have the slide-on table that came with this machine on. If you have just your accessory box, you're going to need to slide that off to this side and expose this area here. This is the feed dog lowering area. Just slide it over. Now, little tip, when you're done sewing buttons on, you need to slide that back. But when you do, those feed dogs do not look like they are up, and that is true. Once you take a stitch, after you've put it back to normal, they will come back up, but not until you actually hand turn a stitch or sew something. So we'll push it back to the left. They are down. Let's just slide the little table on. Now you think buttons and you think garments and such. When I think buttons, I think something embellished. So like on our Stitching Cosmos quilt, we do use it in our tassel area. We sew the tassels on with the bar tacks, which we have done a video on this machine with the built-in bar tack, and then we stitch buttons on top of it. So super fun here. And we've also done it with our little Hawaiian shirt tissue holder that we will link to in the upper, let's do that. We'll link right up there to the pattern and a video that we did while you can watch me make that. That is that easy. So as you slide your fabric in place and then the button underneath the foot, you kind of notice that the needle is a little bit more on the left side. So as I lower my needle into a left hole and then lower the presser foot onto the button, I'm going to test swing and make sure it's going to go into the next hole. And lo and behold, that it all lines up. I said it's kind of a default setting. Step on the foot control and sew until you have the right amount of stitches. I was wondering if this was going to stop for me. And on this machine, it does not. But we can use this scissor button that will allow you the thread to be cut. And did you notice on this one, because there was 4 holes, I actually did the front forward to first, and then I'm going to just kind of slide. I don't have to actually take it out. I could have just slid back and then done the set right behind. But I am going to just lower it down. I love this little foot. There's like little grips underneath. So not only can I see where my needle's going to go, but I know that that button is not going to get moved. And that's another reason why we lowered those feed dogs. So I'm going to just sew the same amount. That's a lot of stitches, by the way. It actually, that button is going nowhere. Now, if you do need some type of shank below this button, now that would mean that you're not just putting these on decoratively and you want them all the way on the fabric, which is without any gap. But if you were actually sewing a button onto a garment where you will be buttoning something to it, you're going to want to take a button and use the tool that came with your bonus pack, slide this underneath, and then this way you have an extra spacing of thread that you'll be able to have a place for that second fabric to actually be placed underneath. Like there's not room for extra fabric underneath there. But with this, you can come in here. That would space it out. I don't know if you could do it. This would be a little thick, but I think it would still work. But you go ahead, push the foot up, go ahead and get it level, and then that spacer will give you that extra shank of thread you need for an item that needs to be buttoned.